In this course, we try to learn as to how to give security for an enterprise using checkpoint firewall. Using checkpoints firewall. We'll see, let's say, a lot of different features of checkpoint firewall. We'll see in how many methods we can give security for an enterprise using a firewall called checkpoint firewall. First of all, let us see what is meant by a firewall. If you take a bank, let's say a bank, you want to give security to the bank, what's the first step we do? We would like to check as who's entering the bank or leaving the bank. We try to use security for the entire bank as a whole by checking as to who is entering the bank or leaving the bank. And to have effective control on this, what you do first of all? First of all, you keep a compound wall like this. We keep a compound wall like this, and also we keep a gate here, and then create something called as choke point. We're trying to make sure that all the people enter the bank, or leave the bank only via this particular compound wall. If there's no, let's say, compound wall like this, then we don't have any control as to who's entering or who's leaving. We keep a compound wall first of all. We also keep a gate here. Create something called as a choke point. Once we create a choke point like this, we keep a security guard here and ask him to check as who's entering the bank or leaving the bank. The security guard standing at the gate, by checking who's entering the bank or leaving the bank, tries to give security for entire bank as a whole. So he does something called as perimeter security. He gives security for entire bank as a whole. So we call it as, we use something called as perimeter security. Now imagine we have a road like this. We have say different banks. Now for every bank we keep a security guard, right? So this security guard gives security for this particular bank. This security guard gives security for this particular bank. This security guard for this particular bank. And then the security guards will give security for each and every bank separately like this. So all the security guards are doing something called as perimeter security. So similarly, Internet has become a very effective medium for all communications. We try to send data, voice and also video through internet. Internet has become very effective medium for all communications. But access to internet, so all the companies like company A, company B, company C or company D, all these companies are getting connected through internet. Even the same company A head office, company's branch offices also talk to each other using internet as an effective medium for all communications. Even the remote users, mobile users, company A, let's say working from home, they also work through, access the resource in the company through internet. So internet has become a very effective medium for all communications. We try to send video, data and also voice through internet. But access to internet is not secure because of people like hackers and crackers. They would like to enter the network, steal information in the company, or shut down some servers. Or when the packets are going from head office to branch office, they would like to, let's say, steal the information from the network. They try to steal information. So because hackers and crackers are there, we can't deny connecting through the internet. Because we can't imagine any company without internet connection. If at all any company is not getting connected to internet, they are losing, let's say, a lot of business advantage. So we need to connect to internet and try to secure the resources. So we can't deny, the companies cannot deny connecting through the internet. So what do we do now? We should have a security guard here. We should have a security guard protecting the network from the attacks on the internet now. So we need to have a security guard here protecting this particular network. So we have security guards protecting the network. Means which particular the security guard here should be able to protect the network from the attacks from the internet. So each and every company network should have a security guard trying to check who's entering the network, who's leaving the network. So in computer networks, what we do, we keep something called as a firewall. So we keep a firewall between the company's network and the internet, and ask the firewall to check which part of the TCP/IP communication should be allowed access, which part of the communication should be denied access when the packets are coming from the company's network to the internet. So we can't deny connecting through the internet. So we keep a firewall here and try to protect the network resources. So a firewall is like a security guard standing at the gate trying to check which TCP/IP communication has to be allowed access or denied access when the packets are going from inside to outside or outside to inside. So we have seen as to what is the role of a firewall. The firewall is like a security guard standing at the gate trying to check which packet should be allowed access, which packet has to be denied access, and the packets are going from head office to branch offices or head office to the internet. In this particular course, we are trying to see how checkpoint firewall, a firewall by Checkpoint Software Technologies, can give security for the enterprises. For that, first of all, we need to understand as to what is the three-tier architecture of Checkpoint. In Checkpoint, we have three components. One is Smart Console, second one is Security Management Server, and third one is what? Security Gateway. We need to understand these three components in Checkpoint: Smart Console, Security Management Server, and then Security Gateway. Now let's imagine a company called Mango. Mango has got head office here. Mango has got the branch office 1, branch office 2 and branch office 3. And all the three officers, all the four officers are connected through internet to each other. And to protect the company from attacks from the hackers, we have kept a firewall here, Mango head office firewall. Branch office 1 also has got branch office 1 firewall. Branch office 2 has got branch office 2 firewall. And branch office 3 has got branch office 3 firewall. So each and every company has got their own firewall. Network has got their own firewall. The HO firewall will protect this particular head office network. B1 firewall is giving security for the branch office network, branch office to branches. So they give something called as perimeter security. So let's imagine a company called Mango with head office and 3 branch offices protected by firewalls. Now we said that in Checkpoint we have three-tier architecture. We have something called a Smart Console, Security Management Server, and Security Gateway. So there are three components: Smart Console, Security Management Server, and then Security Gateway. Where do you deploy these components in the company now? So let's take a diagram like this. The firewalls which are trying to give security for the companies are called as Security Gateway. So we install on this particular system here, we install an application called as Security Gateway. So on all the firewalls, we install an application called as Security Gateway. Now in Checkpoint, if at all you want to give a policy to the Security Gateway here or firewall, we can't log into the firewall and then give security. That's not possible. All the firewalls in the company get the security policies from a management server called as Security Management Server. So using the Security Management Server, we try to give security for all the firewalls in the company. So we create policies on the security firewall for HO firewall and then push the policy from management server to the firewall. Similarly, we also give policies to the BO1 firewall from the management server. So all the firewalls in the company get the security policies only from the management server. So we have something called as security management server application. Using this application, we try to give policies for all the firewalls in the company. But then how to create policies on the security management server? Using Smart Console. Using Smart Console, we log on to the management server. On the management server, we create policies for all the firewalls in the company and push those policies to the respective firewalls. So like that, there are three components. One component is Smart Console, Security Management Server, and then Security Gateway. So using the Smart Console application, we log on to the management server, create policies for all the firewalls in the company, and push those policies from the management server to the firewalls. So we have say three components: Smart Console, Security Management Server, and Security Gateways. Using the Smart Console, we log on to the management servers, create policies on the management server, and push the policies from management servers to the security gateways. Now, so we have like say something called as centralized management. So all the policies of all the firewalls in the company are present in the security management server. So it becomes easier for us to take backup and also give policies to all the firewalls. We have something called as centralized management. We can also monitor, not only give the policies to the firewalls from the management server, we can also monitor all the firewalls in the company using the security management server. We can also ask all the security gateways to send the logs to the management server. All the security gateways also send the logs to the management server. So by having one security management server and going for centralized management, we have a lot of advantages. We have like say all the policies present only on the management server. We can also receive all the logs from the firewalls on the management server. We can also monitor all the firewalls. We can also like say update all the firewalls. We can manage licenses on all the firewalls. So you can go for something called a centralized management and take advantage of centralized management in managing all the firewalls in the organization. Now, let's understand as to what is meant by checkpoint services. Now we said that the management server gives a policy to the firewalls. When the management server wants to give a policy to the firewall, it should access a service called as CPD service, checkpoint daemon service, running on the firewall at port number 18191. So management server opens a connection, TCP connection to the service called as CPD, checkpoint protocol daemon service, running at the port 18191, and then gives a policy to the firewall. Similarly, when the security management server has to give a policy to the security gateway, V1 security gateway, it opens a connection to what? CPD service or 18191 port number TCP connection, and then gives a policy to the firewall. For example, I want the firewall to get the topology of management server, to get the topology of the firewall. I want management to understand how many NSE cards are there on the firewall, which IP addresses are enabled on this particular NSE card, which particular networks are behind this NSE card, if at all I need to find out. Then again the management server opens a connection to something called as CPD YAMON service. CPD YAMON service or find also firewall 1 service running at the port number 256 or running at the port number 18192 CPD YAMON service, and also firewall 1 service running at the port number 256, and then tries to get about the topology of the firewall. To learn about the NSE cards, it accesses the firewall 1 service, and to get about the topology of the firewall, it will also open a connection to CPD YAMON service. Similarly, when I ask the checkpoint firewall to send a log to the management server, it will access, it will open a connection to firewall 1 log service running at the port number 257. The security gateway opens a connection to the management server at the port number 257 and then will send the logs to the management server. Like that, whenever the management server wants to do something on the firewalls, security gateways, or when the security gateways want to send logs to the management server, or when they want to communicate with the management server for some reason, they open connections to something called as checkpoint services. So these connections are called as control connections. If at all any connection is open to the checkpoint services, we call them as control connections. Now the idea is, before they open a control connection, we want the checkpoint components to authenticate with each other to see whether they're really the entities who they claim themselves to be. When the management server is trying to give policy to the firewall, what is the guarantee that it's its own management server? For example, the management server is trying to give policy to branch office 1 firewall. How does the branch office 1 firewall know that's really talking to the correct management server? So we want the management server and the security gateway to authenticate with each other before allowing a control connection. Before opening a connection to checkpoint service, we want the management server and the firewall to authenticate with each other. And this happens by means of digital certificates. These certificates are issued by whom? The security management server, acting as ICA, internal CA, will issue a certificate itself and also issue a certificate to all the firewalls in the companies. So what is meant by digital certificate? Imagine the digital certificate like a identity card, an ID card given by the management server to itself and also to all the firewalls in the company. So whenever these checkpoint components like management server wants to open a control connection to the security gateway, or security gateway wants to open a control connection to the management server, or security gateway would like to open a control connection or some connection to the security gateways, they could authenticate with each other now using the digital certificate issued by the internal CA. Who's internal CA? The management server. Authenticating using a certificate like this is called as SIC, Secure Internal Communication. So the idea is, whenever the management server and the checkpoint gateway, security gateways want to communicate with each other, they open something called as control connection. What's a control connection? Opening a connection to the checkpoint services like CPD service, checkpoint protocol daemon service, CPD AMON service, checkpoint protocol daemon, internal application monitoring service, or firewall 1 service, or firewall 1 log service. There's so many services are there running on the checkpoint components. Opening a connection to checkpoint components is called as control connections. Before they could open a control connection, we want these components to authenticate with each other. So authenticate happens by means of a digital certificate issued by the internal CA, which is the management server itself. And this process of authentication by means of digital certificates is called as SIC, Secure Internal Communication. Now, if we keep only one management server for the companies, and then management server is trying to give the policies to all the firewalls in the organization, let's imagine the management server crashes. The management server crashes now, the policies cannot be given. Moreover, the security gateway also keep on sending the logs to the management server, and the management server is not available. They cannot open a connection to firewall one service running on the management server and then send the logs. If at all there is only one management server. So what we normally do is we keep one more firewall, one more management server acting as what? Secondary management server. So in case the primary management server goes down, we still have another management server. You can promote the management server as primary management server and again start giving the policies to all the firewalls in the company. Or the firewall also can send logs to the secondary management server. So this we call it as management high availability. So in case if only one management server is there and the management server fails, then till the management server is coming, let's say put on the management server and try to, let's say, restore the backup. Security gateways cannot send the logs to the management server, or management server cannot monitor the firewall. So to be on the safe side, we keep one more management server acting as what? Secondary management server. So we call this as management high availability. So whenever you install any management server, you can either install it as primary management server or secondary management server. You can also keep one management only for logging called as log server. For example, with a very, like say, highly productive networks, we can make these two management servers, primary and secondary, to give the policies to the firewalls and also monitor the firewalls. For logging alone, we can keep a dedicated management server and ask all the firewalls in the company to send the logs only to the log server. So these two management servers, primary and secondary, are meant only for giving the policies to the firewalls. We have one dedicated management server acting as a log server only for receiving the logs from the security gateways. So like that, we can have more than one management server in the company. Some management servers only meant for giving the policies or monitoring all the firewalls in the company, and one management server or not two management you can keep only for receiving the logs from the security gateways. Now, we understood that there are three components. One component is called a smart console. Using the smart console, we log on to the management server, create the policies on the management server, and push those policies from management server to the security gateways. We also understood that we can have more than one management server. We can install management server as primary management server or secondary management server or log servers. So whenever you install the management server application, it may ask you want to install it as primary or secondary or a log server. And then when the management server and the firewalls are trying to talk to each other, they open something called as control connection. Before they open a control connection to the checkpoint services, we want these two components to authenticate with each other. That happens by means of digital certificates issued by an ICA. The management service will act as an ICA and issue a certificate to itself and also to the firewalls in the company. So when they want to open a control connection, they authenticate with each other using this particular digital certificates. Now if you see carefully, all this, the smart console, our security management server, our security gateway, all these are what? Checkpoint applications. Checkpoint applications. That means if I want to install the smart console application here, I need to install on some operating system. So in our labs, we install it on Windows 10. We keep a Windows 10 system. On that install smart console as an application. We could use Windows 7, Windows like say professional. We also can use like say some Linux system to run the smart console application. Similarly, to run the security management server application and security gateway application on these particular systems, we need to have some OS. We use a OS called Gaia. Gaia is an operating system by Checkpoint. It's a proprietary operating system of Checkpoint. So we use what? Gaia OS in our labs. So please remember the Smart Console, Security Management Server, and Security Gateways. All these are applications, but they need to be running on some OS. So we run Smart Console on Windows 10 operating system. We run Security Management Server and Security Gateways on an operating system called as Gaia. So Gaia is an operating system by Checkpoint. Something like this. If at all let's say Smart Console system here, I'm making Windows 10 system, run the application called Smart Console. On the management server, I install Gaia OS. On the Gaia OS, I install the Security Management Server application. Similarly, on the systems acting as security gateways, we install the Gaia OS, Gaia operating system. On the Gaia OS, we install the security gateway applications. So, Smart Console, Security Management Server, Security Gateway, all these are what? Applications of Checkpoint. But these applications need to be running on some OS. Smart Console we run on Windows 10 OS. Security Management Server on Gaia. Security Gateway also on Gaia. So Gaia is an OS, whereas Security Gateway, Security Management Servers are application, Checkpoint applications. So we'll do a simple lab now. We take a case study like this. We try to install Gaia OS on the management server here. We also install Security Gaia OS for on the security gateway. We also install the Security Management Server application, Security Gateway application on the relevant systems. We also install Smart Console on the Windows 10 system here. And then we also try to see how to give, using the Smart Console, we talk to the management server, create a policy and issue the policies to the firewall. If you see in the case study here, we have three different networks: HON network, Mango HOB network, Mango HOC network, and then connected, all the three networks are connected using a firewall here. So we try to give security policies on the firewall so that these systems could access each other. So we'll take a simple network like this and understand how to install the Gaia OS and also install the Checkpoint applications. So this should be the lab activity number 1. We'll see how to install the Gaia OS. Once you install the Gaia OS, we'll see how to assign IP address to interface on the Gaia OS. We also see how to install the Security Management Server application, that's the primary management server. We also install Security Gateway application. We'll also how to install Smart Console application. Then we'll also see how to create an object for the Security Gateway on the management server and enable SIC between the management server and the Security Gateway. Then we'll also see how to issue or install the security policies on the Security Gateways. We'll also see how to verify the security policies. And we also see how to reset SIC between the Security Management Server and the Security Gateway. So all these things we'll see in the first lab activity like this. So I also gave, let's say, a PDF document. You can download this about the first lab. What's the lab objectives, and as to what are the tasks we need to do. Task 1, task 2, task 3 and all are given like this. So you can also download this PDF about the first lab, specification of the first lab.